What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Powerhouse Mentality podcast. I'm your host. I'm Caitlin Kenna Smith, and if you've ever felt like you're doing everything right, but you're still not seeing progress, this episode is for you. So welcome, take a seat, let's sit back, relax, enjoy, and if you're driving, if you're working out, if you're on a walk, obviously you're not sitting back and relaxing, but welcome. Welcome to the Powerhouse Mentality podcast. If you're new here, I appreciate you. If you're not new here, I also appreciate you. But today I'm going to be breaking down 5 of the biggest lies that people believe about progress and why those things have been holding them back from actually seeing real results. And in typical powerhouse mentality fashion, we have no fluff, no bullshit, just the real truth, and of course, application on how to fix it. I probably say it in every episode at this point, but the reason why I say it so often is because we need to hear something multiple times before it's ingrained within our brain, and I want you to literally think about this all of the time. Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. Knowledge only has potential power. Without action, it is nothing, which is why here on this podcast, in the Powerhouse Mentality community, we focus on not just the information, but the application. How can you apply it to your life? How can you apply it to your journey in order to make your life better, to become a better version of yourself, to get the results that you're after? Also, let's give a warm welcome to Kane, who wanted to make an appearance on the podcast. For those of you who don't know, that is our Great Pyrenees. And if you don't know, now you know. Great Pyrenees is our vocal dog. So had to take a brief pause for him to have a little bit of a barking fit at absolutely nothing. But, you know, one day I'll have a big fancy podcast studio where I'll have like soundproof walls, and it won't even matter that Kane wants to make an appearance on the show. I understand. But that is not today. So let's get into those 5 lies that are killing your progress. And number 1, and again, no particular order on these. I feel like I hate putting an order to things because I think it depends on the person, right? There are going to be some things that speak louder to somebody compared to others. So it's on an individual basis. So if one of these screams to you, then that's probably the one that's most important for you. Everything is individualized when it comes to results, when it comes to health and fitness, except for the fact that you need to do the work and keep the commitments that you make to yourself. Other than that, everything's a little bit individualized. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach. Now, lie number 1, if it's not fast, it's not working. Now, this is a lie because that keeps people stuck in the cycle of quitting and starting over because they expect results on a specific timeline that fits their level of impatience, which all of us probably have some form of impatience because we live in a society that is like instant gratification. I saw a reel the other day where Walmart was using drones to deliver things within an hour of you ordering them. So, I mean, the unfortunate truth is that your results when it comes to health, fitness, success, career, whatever it is, it's not going to be as fast as a Walmart drone, unfortunately. I wish that technology has taken us this far where we can just snap our fingers and get everything we want, but that's not how it is. And there is actually a purpose to the journey and a power to the journey, but I'll get into that. First, I want to reiterate what I just said, and I want to call out impatience and that quick fix culture because we've been sold this fantasy that progress should be quick, it should be linear, and it should be obvious all of the time. That if you don't see results in 30 days, you must be doing something wrong. I mean, we all have seen it on social media, Instagram, Facebook, some trainer, some business promoting their 30-day six-pack challenge or their 30-day major transformation challenge, and they show all of these before and after pictures, and you're like, I want those results in 30 days. It only takes 30 days. And then you do 30 days, and you're like, I haven't seen these results. Something's wrong with me, or I'm doing something wrong, or I'm just not meant to be healthy, so I'll just quit, or I'll go to another program, and you never actually develop enough momentum and consistency to earn progress. So if your body isn't changing fast, your effort must not be enough. That's what you're thinking in your head. But the reality is none of that is true. It takes longer than you want it to take, and it takes longer than you think it will take. I want you to repeat that over and over and over again every day to yourself, especially in the moments when you feel like I'm not making progress. It takes longer than you want it to take. It takes longer than you think it will take. So I want you to normalize slow, steady results because real change actually takes time. An example of this would be strength gains, fat loss, hormone balance. None of this is instant. Strength takes a lot of time. Fat loss takes a lot of time. Healing your metabolism, healing your hormones, healing your body after abusing it for so long, it takes time. Think about it like this. If you were to give me 1 year, 12 months, this is what I tell my clients. Give me 12 months of everything that you have to the process, to your nutrition, to your workouts, to your recovery, to your mindset, and you will be a completely different person by the end of that 12 months. You will be the best version of yourself, the version of yourself that you dream of becoming at the end of your 12 months. And that's the quick fix, if we were to give a quick fix to anything, because the reality is, it didn't take you 1 year to get to this point that you're at where you're desperate for change. It took you probably 5 years, 10 years, where you've constantly been thinking to yourself, I want to achieve X, Y, or Z. I want to lose the 20 pounds. I want to be healthier. I want to build the business. You want to do all these things, but it didn't take you 12 months to get to this point. You didn't put on the 50 pounds in 12 months, right? It took time. So if you're to only give 12 months, 1 full year of dedicated work to your goals, it will change you. It will change your habits. It'll change your behavior. It'll change your lifestyle. And that's what it's all about. Everybody wants microwave results. You want to press a button. You want your dream body in 60 seconds. But the real transformation isn't microwave speed. I'm sorry, it isn't. It's being cooked low and slow, you know? And you know the low and slow cooking? Like if you put a nice piece of turkey or chicken or beef, if you put that on a slow cooker, or not a slow cooker, on like a smoker, like a Traeger, and you cook it low and slow, it's delicious. It's better than if I were to throw a piece of chicken in the microwave and cook it. That would be disgusting. Please don't do that. That's one way to get salmonella. But the analogy that I like to use for this is baking a cake, because I love cake. And pause on that, because me and my husband have this conversation a lot. We are cookie people. So like if it's a birthday, fuck the cake. Like give me the cookie. But I'm a sweet person, so I like baked goods. I actually almost went to pastry school, but then I flipped everything and went to school for nutrition. Haha, weird how that works. But back to the analogy, baking the cake. So most cakes, they take a pretty long time based on what we want, right? So say you have a cake recipe and it calls for 45 minutes at 350 degrees in the oven. Cool. What if you don't want to wait 45 minutes for your fucking cake? You want it now. So you can do 15 minutes at 1,000 degrees. It's the same thing, right? Wrong. That cake that you put in for 15 minutes at 1,000 degrees is not going to come out the way that you want it to. It's going to be burnt. It's going to be basically inedible. Compared to if you had the patience to wait for the 45-minute cake, that would be perfect, fluffy, delicious, everything that you want out of a cake. And the journey, or that slow process, is getting you to that delicious cake instead of that burnt, shitty cake that you're going to throw in the garbage anyway, or give to your dad, or give to your dogs, whatever. Give to your husband. Give it to somebody else. You're not eating it. If I were to snap my fingers and hand you everything that you've always wanted, you would lose it because you haven't built the habits and behaviors to keep it. You haven't earned it. You haven't put in the work that's necessary. The work is kind of like your buy-in, right? You have to put in the work in order to achieve the outcome. You can't just have it magically land on your lap. And if you do, you typically won't be able to keep it. An example of this would be, I'm sure you've heard so many times, of people winning the lottery and then losing that money almost immediately because they haven't had the discipline to develop good financial habits, like the person who earned their millions of dollars. They've earned it over time. They've been on the journey to earn it, so they know what they need to do in order to keep it, and they have better spending habits than the person who's like, oh, I'm a millionaire, so I can have millionaire habits, and they blow it all, and then they're going bankrupt. The point here I'm trying to make is the journey is where habits get built. You have to go through those experiences along the journey because they teach you invaluable lessons. The wins, the losses teach you much more than the wins. I'm sure you already know that. But it's where the identity shifts happen. It's where mental toughness is created. It's where discipline is built. Discipline is a skill. You don't just magically have it. You have to build it through the experience, through the journey. If it's fast, it's fragile. If it's real, it's strong. It's built brick by brick. Slow and steady wins the race. It really does. But it's not being slow and steady and not aggressive. It's about having aggressive patience. So being patient in the journey, but being aggressive with your effort, because effort is always a choice. So if it feels like everything's going a little bit slow right now, that's good. Stay in it. Keep showing up for yourself because your results are on the way. As long as you stop quitting every time it doesn't go fast enough. That's the biggest thing why people fail. It's not because they're not seeing results fast enough. It's because they quit before they get a chance to earn the results. So number 2, if I miss a day, I've ruined everything. This is probably one of the most common things, although the fast thing is pretty common too. The amount of times I'll get somebody who's like, I've only lost 4 pounds in a month. And I'm like, that's a pound a week. That's phenomenal. But they expect to lose 4 pounds every week. So it's like, okay. But lie number 2, if I miss a day, I've ruined everything. And this lie feeds that all or nothing mindset that wrecks consistency more than anything else. One missed workout, one off-planned meal, one bad day where life kind of punched you in the teeth and suddenly you're convincing yourself that you ruined everything and you should just give up. Yeah, we've all been there. Everybody's been there. Even the most successful people, the people that you look up to, the people that you want their life because it looks so perfect on social media, they've been through all that shit too. One bad day doesn't destroy you. The difference between those who are successful and those who remain the same are that those who are successful continue to get up every time they're shoved to the ground. So understand that missing a day doesn't break your progress. Quitting because you missed a day does. So you're not starting over, you're just continuing. Imagine that you're walking down the street and you stumble or you misstep. We've all been there. I've totally been there. I'm a spaz. I'm an athlete, but outside of the gym, God help me. So when you do stumble, when you're on a walk, do you just stop, take a seat, and not continue on? No, that would literally be stupid. You would look really dumb. The only thing you're probably thinking in that moment as you're continuing to walk after that stumble is, I really hope nobody thought of that or nobody saw that. But the same thing is if you got a flat tire, right? If you got a flat tire, logically, we pull over to the side of the road, we take out our phone, we call AAA, we call a friend, phone a friend, or we take matters into our own hands. We change the tire if we have a spare, if we have the equipment, whatever. You change the tire and you continue on. That's the point I'm trying to get at. But if you're missing a day and ruining everything, it's kind of like you got a flat tire, you got out of the car, and you said, well, one of the tires flat, so maybe I should just take out my pocket knife and slash all of the tires. Oh, that fixed everything, right? No, it didn't. It literally made everything worse. Another example that I like to use with my clients. If I drop my phone and I look at my phone and it has a little crack, like we've all dropped our phone. It gets a little crack on the screen. Oh, not a big deal. It still works. It's fine. You continue on with your life. Well, the all or nothing mentality says, oh, my phone has a scratch. Might as well just smash it on the floor again until it's broken. Don't do that. Don't do stupid things. So consistency isn't built on perfection. And that's the mistake that people make. They think they have to be perfect to accomplish their goals. They think that the people that they see who have the life that they want, who have the goals that they want, the people they aspire to be, they think that they're perfect, but they're not. They're just consistent. Consistency isn't built on perfection, but it is built on resiliency and progress. So one thing I always tell my clients is that we are never chasing perfection, but we're always focused on progress. An example of this is I had a client once, and I have clients all the time who do this. So this is just like one example. Super disciplined, super driven. But every time she would miss a workout, it would send her spiraling off. So if she missed a workout on a Monday, she'd spiral, binge on a Tuesday, skip her next lift, and Thursday she'd say, you know what, I'll just restart next week because I'll get that reset, right? But she didn't fail because she missed Monday. She failed because she believed missing Monday meant she was a failure. And once she stopped making a missed day mean something that it didn't, once she started to learn that she could just pick it off where she left off without guilt, that's when her body started to change because she was actually consistent. That's when she started winning because she didn't let one little setback mess her up. So messing up doesn't mean giving up, and that's your choice. Setbacks and failures are all part of life. They are literally unavoidable. So the faster you start crying about it and start moving forward, the faster that you win and get back on track. If you want real results, you have to stop being perfect. Period. End of story. So start trying to be consistent over a lifetime, not just during your best weeks. Focus on being consistently good instead of occasionally great. So consistently good, not occasionally great. Everybody can be occasionally great. I can show up and be perfect on one day. But the second that I'm not perfect, I give up. I'm not going to earn results. And you're not going to either. So number 3 is I need motivation to stay consistent. Okay, let's talk about motivation. So motivation is the absolute biggest scam that you've been sold. How many fucking motivational things do you see on social media? Do you see YouTube videos on motivation? Yeah, those things are cool. They get you a little bit hype in the moment. But if you're watching a motivational video, sitting on your comfy couch, in your temperature-controlled home, with your snacks, that motivation doesn't kind of translate to when you're in a really uncomfortable situation. It doesn't. And it's why people ride the highs and then crash during the lows and wonder why they never build anything lasting. Motivation is emotional. And like all emotions, they do not last forever. You are not always happy. You are not always sad. You are not always angry. Emotions come and go. The good emotions come, they also go. The bad emotions come, they also go. Everything is temporary when it comes to emotions. So motivation is unstable. It's fleeting. It usually depends on external things like your mood, your energy, the weather, the scale, what your friends are doing. But discipline is built. But discipline isn't sexy because discipline is boring. Discipline is really uncomfortable. But discipline shows up when you don't want to. And it depends on your decisions, on your actions, on your choices, not your feelings. So it actually gets you somewhere. I can't tell you how many times I've walked into the gym with absolutely zero motivation. Today was a great example of that, actually. I woke up and the only thing that I wanted to do was cry. Why? I can't tell you. But sometimes us females, we get like that. But the last thing that I wanted to do was go into the garage in the 80-something degree Florida weather and do very heavy squats because that was on the menu this morning. We had heavy back squats, heavy front squats, and then some lower body accessory work, including Bulgarian split squats, which in itself is already a mental battle. But, I didn't want to do it. But I showed up. I picked up the barbell. I started my warm-up. I moved. And sometimes it's not going to be the best session. It's not going to be a highlight reel. But it was the day that mattered more than the ones where I felt good. And those tough workouts, those tough moments in your life where you don't want to show up, where you feel like shit physically, mentally, emotionally, and it takes you everything to just show up. Those workouts, those moments teach you exponentially more than your best workouts, than your best moments. So every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you prove to yourself what your goals are because your goals are non-negotiable. And when you can make your goals non-negotiable, that's when you win. So waiting on motivation is like waiting for perfect weather when you're trying to go out on a boat. You're never going to get perfect weather. Like there might be that day where it's like, oh my gosh, the weather is perfect. But most of the time, life ain't like that. And you're going to be stuck forever if you continue to wait for the perfect day. You don't wait for the sunny day to plant your seeds if you want to harvest them. So you can't wait to feel like showing up if you actually want results. You have to move through it. You build momentum through action, not emotion. And motivation is nice when it's there. If you have it, fucking run with it. But you're not going to have it all the time. More times than not, you're going to have it. So understand that you can't rely on it. And once you can understand that motivation is an emotion, it's a feeling, it's something that I'm not always going to have, when you build that awareness, you start to become better at showing up for yourself, regardless of how you feel. Lie number 4. If the scale doesn't move, I'm not making progress. All right, let's go. Time to go off on this one because the scale is an asshole. Scale is an asshole. I understand. I get it. Last couple weeks, the scale has been pissing me off. But you know what? I know better. I'm going to share it with you. So this one is the most toxic beliefs in fitness. And it's why so many people quit right before the real change shows up. The scale is not a scoreboard. The scale is not a lie detector for your effort. The scale is simply one tiny data point, and honestly, one of the least important ones. Real progress isn't just measured in pounds lost. It's measured in strength gained, discipline built, consistency earned, and energy restored. So you could be gaining muscle while losing fat. Your body's changing, literally changing before your eyes. But the recomposition is going to equate to little scale change, but massive physical change. I can't even tell you the amount of times where I put a client's photos side to side. I put it on my story and somebody's like, holy crap, how much weight have they lost? And I'm like, 3 pounds, 5 pounds, very negligible weight lost, but they've changed their entire body composition because they are building muscle and losing fat. I was having a conversation with my client yesterday and kind of today where she was like, I think I need to start adding cardio in. And I said to her, cardio does not burn fat. Building muscle burns fat, and doing additional cardio will only take away from your strength training. You're not fueling your body anywhere near enough to recover from the stress of cardio. So the thing that you need to focus on if you actually want to burn body fat is going hard and intentional on your strength training, being consistent with it, lifting heavy, pushing your body, recovering hard with sleep and stress management, and fueling your body with the building blocks that it needs to rebuild and repair that muscle tissue with protein and calories. So understand that the scale will not measure that change. Healing your metabolism and restoring proper water and glycogen balance, the scale will not measure appropriately. You'll see, oh my gosh, I'm gaining so much body fat. No, you have water retention. They are different, very much so. No, your muscles are filled with glycogen, making you appear leaner, but all you see is the weight on the scale. Regulating hormones that have been wrecked by years of undereating. The scale can move because of your stress hormones. So understand that everything can impact the scale. And none of these things show up immediately on the scale. Most of it doesn't show up on the scale at all. Right? If you're regulating your hormones, if you're healing your metabolism, if you're restoring proper water and glycogen balance, if you're increasing your bone density, your connective tissue strength, your gut health, your immune function, you're building muscle, you're building strength, that doesn't show up on the scale. You could gain 5 pounds and look leaner because you added muscle and dropped body fat. You could weigh the exact same, but fit into smaller clothes because your body composition has shifted. You could stay the same weight, but feel stronger, more focused, healthier than you've ever been. But you keep looking at that damn number on the scale. And you know what happens when you look at that number on the scale and you don't have a coach? You say, oops, fuck it, I'll add cardio and eat less. And then you ruin everything. And you stay stuck. That's the problem. And if you do have a coach and you're going against them, what the hell are you doing? You're paying for that person. You're literally throwing money out of the window. If you have a coach and you trust them, listen to them. If you don't trust them, you need a new coach. What actually matters outside of the scale is, are you lifting heavier? Are you recovering faster? Are you sleeping better? Is your mindset sharper? Are you moving with more intention? Are you actually living better, not just weighing less? If the answer to any of those or all of those is yes, you're winning, whether the scale claps for you or not. The scale will catch up. Your body will respond, your effort will compound, but if you quit because a number didn't move fast enough, you'll never get a chance to see how good it could have become. Hang tight, trust the process. Now that I'm done talking about the scale, I got a little emotional there. Take a sip of coffee to calm me down. And I'll take a moment right here to talk about the coffee that I'm drinking. I do have a discount code to the coffee that I'm drinking, but even if I didn't, I would talk about this coffee because I am a coffee connoisseur. I love energy drinks too, but coffee has always been it's like a warm hug for the soul. I'm a hot coffee drinker regardless of how hot it is, which is why during the summer I do more energy drinks because hot coffee can be really taxing on my body. But I drink Bones coffee, and the reason why I love Bones coffee is because it's a flavored coffee with no calories. You know, we all go to the store and we see those like ground coffee with like the flavoring, like, oh, it's hazelnut, or it's blueberry muffin, or it's mocha. And then it tastes like really artificial and terrible when you actually brew it. This doesn't have that weird, shitty taste. I've had coffee for, 12 years at this point. And I've tried so many different, like, flavored coffees because I like my coffee black, which is a little bit of almond milk, so I'm not like a frou-frou coffee drinker. But I like to have a little bit of flavor in my bitter coffee. So they have crazy flavors. And some of the flavors are kind of wild. Like they have a Fruity Pebbles flavor, which I've tried. It's not for me, but let me tell you, they nailed the flavor for sure, but it's just not, it shouldn't be with coffee. But I love that they did it. And it's in fact one of their best-selling ones. But right now I'm drinking one that I got delivered yesterday, and it's cookies and cream. So it's intended to be like an Oreo type thing, and it is phenomenal. And it smells phenomenal in my office right now because I brewed it. But I also got a cinnamon bun one, which I haven't tried yet, but I'm a cinnamon bun hoe, so I'm excited to try that one. But they have so many different flavors, so many different options, so many cool, like, limited edition options, and their marketing is really cool because the bags are super cool. Like, they have even, like, collector's bags where they collaborate with, like, SpongeBob or Star Wars or Fallout. It's just a really cool coffee company, and I love them. My code is Caitlin Kenna Fitness. It gives you 10% off your order. I'll put it down below in this the notes along with the link so you guys can check them out. If you're a coffee lover like myself, you will love this brand. But let's get back into the episode because I went on a little bit of a soapbox, but I mean, coffee deserves time on the Powerhouse Mentality podcast because I contribute a lot of my success to the power of caffeine. Lie number 5 is other people are just more disciplined than me. I get it. I get that. I really do, because I've totally thought this before. I really have. And the truth is, it's technically not a lie. Other people are just more disciplined than you, but not in the way that you think. You think that discipline is genetic. You think that that person was just born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe it's discipline, right? But break this one. Like, snap it in half. This lie is only limiting you. It's a limiting belief. Discipline isn't genetic. It's practiced. It's a skill you build through effort. Discipline is not something you're born with. It's not in your DNA. It's not gifted to a lucky few. That person who's disciplined that you look up to, they ain't special. They just built the skill of discipline. Discipline is a skill. It's a skill that you gain. It's a skill that you can lose if you don't practice it. And it's built through practice. And discipline is a decision repeated daily, especially when it's inconvenient. But how do you practice discipline, right? You show up when you fucking don't want to. You know how good it feels when you go into a workout, example, you go to a workout that you really don't want to do and you finish it? How good does that feel? You send an email that you've been dreading. How good does it feel to finally get that done? You do something that you don't want to because you know that it's going to help you become the version of yourself that you want to become. It feels good. The people you think are more disciplined than you, they've just practiced being uncomfortable longer. They've said no to their excuses more often. They've honored their commitments to themselves more often. They've faced the hard days, the ugly days, the shitty days, the I don't feel like it days, and they showed up anyway. They didn't get it easier than you. They didn't feel better than you. They simply acted differently. Every successful athlete, entrepreneur, coach, or anybody that you admire has days where they don't want to show up. I have so many days where I don't want to show up. Like I said earlier, I didn't want to show up today. The amount of grit and discipline that it took for me to get out into that garage this morning to train, and now I have to go back out there and train again after this. The amount of grit and discipline that it took to press record on this podcast, it was a lot. I had these notes already. I'm ready to go, but I don't feel like it right now. But guess what? Now I feel good. Now I feel good doing this, and I know that it's going to pay off because I'm giving you guys value and I'm helping at least one person who's listening on the other side. These people, everybody has moments where quitting sounds easier. The only difference is they don't let their feelings dictate their actions. I talk about this with my coach all of the time, my nutrition coach, Cheryl. We talk about how I still struggle. I can't emphasize that word enough, with my eating disorder thoughts. And they get really loud sometimes, especially when I'm stressed. But the thing that I will not do is I won't allow these thoughts, I won't allow these feelings, these emotions to dictate my actions. So I won't act on them. My mind is screaming at me, you shouldn't be eating that much. You're eating too many carbs. Don't do that. Don't do this. Eat a little bit less. You'll be fine. But my actions say, fuck you. I will not do that. I'm different. That person is in the past. So that's kind of what you need to do when it comes to trying to become the person that you want to become. Understand this. All feelings are temporary, but discipline is final. You don't find discipline, you build discipline. You prove it through thousands of small, unseen, unsexy things when nobody's watching. Nobody's watching. I put up a story on my Instagram today of me squatting and saying, many squats were done. What if I just took one video of me squatting and I was like, okay, time to go inside? I bet people actually do that too. That's crazy. But I could have just done that. Nobody would have known. But it's the unsexy work when nobody's watching. It's the accessory works that I was struggling through that you didn't see because I don't film the unsexy reps. But what actually builds discipline, keeping the promises that you make to yourself even when nobody knows, regardless of how you feel. Showing up when it's boring, when it's slow, when it's monotonous, when it's painful, when it's uncomfortable. Failing, resetting, going again without throwing yourself a pity party. And choosing discomfort on purpose, not by accident. The final thing I want to remind you here when it comes to discipline is you are not less disciplined, you are just less practiced. That's good news because it means you can change it starting today. One rep, one meal, one session, one choice at a time. The number one thing that you can do that will change your life in every way, shape, and form, and I am very convinced of this because I've seen it through myself, through my clients, is keeping the promises that you make to yourself no matter what. Regardless of how you feel, regardless of how crazy life is, make a commitment to yourself. Keep the commitment to yourself. Set the standard, hold the standard. Making a commitment, setting a standard, that is a hope. Holding the standard, keeping the commitment is an action. An action cures everything. So those who are successful, they're not better than you. They're just more consistent with the boring stuff. All right. So the biggest thing that I want you guys to understand from these 5 lies is that you just need to stop tolerating your own excuses. You have to start building the version of yourself that finishes, that keeps the commitments that they make to themselves. So I hope this episode was helpful for you guys. If it was, please share it with at least one person. Let's spread the mission of the Powerhouse Mentality. And go out and do one thing today that's going to take you one step closer to where you want to be.